Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode, a Christmas special of the Ginge and Pedro Show. I'm, of course, Ginge Gingerton. Alongside me is not my usual co-host, but the man himself, the madness, is meeting the mania this episode, everybody. Well, are we taking it to the stratosphere, Pops? What do you think?
I guess so, man. It's like I don't know if I can fill Pedro's shoes, bro.
We're going to the ionosphere. Fuck the stratosphere. We're taking this shit worldwide. I've been watching Macho Man promos. That's not even. I can't lie. But anyways, okay, Pop. So how you doing, sir?
I am wonderful. It's Christmas. What can you say? It's that time when you got to get past whatever crap you went through through the year.
Yep.
You have your Christmas cheer and you bring in the new year. Dude.
Yeah, man. All right. So I like it. The man under the hat over there. He's doing well, it sounds.
Yeah, we're doing our best. We're doing the best we can. That's all anybody can ask for.
I've been itching to do the covers for your two life stories. The first one being your origin story, The Man Under the Hat, and then your follow-up to it, I'm Just a Fan, or Just a Fan. You know what I mean? Where you're sort of like discussing your time like in indie comics. I don't know.
Oh, man.
I think there's something there. We can say hello to the chat, buddy. What do you think? I see some familiar faces.
Yeah.
We got Pump Spec. What's up, brother?
What's up, Total Excellence? If this is out there. I steal.
Gator Man.
Chris
my fellow Floridian.
And Mr. Salazar popped in early. Yeah.
He says, hey, guys, can't stop by, but dropped in to rhyme.
Yeah, go ahead and show his rhyme. It's pretty good.
'Twas the live stream before Christmas, and all through YouTube. Not an okay, I'll stop it. Not an influencer. I've smoked a little bit of weed. It's a Christmas episode.
And there it is.
The mighty Irish streamer, Gingy. Okay, I'll take it.
There you go.
All right, Pops, let's stop fucking around. Let's cut the crap and get down to brass tacks, man. What do you say?
Living the dream, Mick. You know what's up. We're living the dream, brother.
All right, guys. We have a returning guest to the show this week. This is a book I've been very excited for since we had him on. I think like within like the first 15 episodes. So it's been a hot minute now. His book is, I believe, in the second round of funding on Indiegogo. We're going to find out for sure. But we are, of course, talking about Jeremy Thevenot, the beast from Orlando. I don't know. I can't think of anything else. We'll just bring him out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right.
I ain't going to.
Thank you, sir. Wonderful.
How y'all doing? And why does the Grinch look like a good collection, like figurine of Nug, right? Like the Grinch just looks like an elf on a shelf made of green.
Yeah, you think you can make a Grinch made out of buds? I bet you could.
I think you could.
I'm sure there's like a elf on the shelf. If not, you may have just created something, buddy. That's like
Mr. Big is Bud Grinch.
Chris Fisk asking the important questions. Does Christmas weed have some peppermint or mistletoe in it? All right.
Labrador.
No mistletoe. I ain't smoking.
Some schnozberries, perhaps.
Smoking that.
No, Ichthus makes a good point here. I used to DJ for a strip club years ago, and my DJ name was DJ OG, which is like a play on Original Gangster, but it's Original Ginger. Yeah. You just put it on a business card.
I heard Joe Catapano's getting a tramp stamp tattoo of mistletoe.
Oh. All right. It's not a mistletoe.
Is that like a permanent kiss my ass? Would that?
That you're just teabagging people? Is like just sort of dipping the mistletoe over people?
I know one thing. Well, I only got to deal with this Christmas beard for a couple more days, man. The grandkids on Thanksgiving were like, "Grandpa, grow a Santa beard on Thanksgiving, right?" So it's only a month.
Wow.
You know,
that's pretty good though.
Nice,
solid.
Man, I hate it though. It's like
you could sort of. I mean, I don't know if you have the temperament, with all due respect, but I can see you maybe moonlighting as a mall Santa. until you get mad at a kid. Beat him with a comic book. Get out of here, you little shit.
That's never a good thing, like in movies or TV. It's just never a good thing.
Moonlighting as a mall
anymore. Having kids sit on your lap could be very nag.
Right, fair enough.
I mean,
Chris,
I'll pass on that one.
Hey, you know what? Fair enough. No, Christmas says the original Grinch book ended up with little Kelly Sue taking the Grinch in one huge puff.
Her name was not Kelly Sue. Cindy Lou Who, bro.
I got a Santa Fu Manchu, these Korean genetics. I've actually wondered myself, have you guys ever done the 23andMe thing? You ever looked into your ancestry?
My siblings have. I've got like 64% Anglo-Saxon, and the rest is a mix of all kinds of other jumbled stuff. That's about it.
Very good.
Yeah.
I don't know either. I've never really related. As far, even though ginger is sort of my thing, like people think that's like from Ireland, but I don't even know that I have any sort of quote unquote Irish roots, and I connect not at all with Ireland or the luck of the Irish. But
the luck's all gone. That's all gone.
Pretty much long gone here.
It's like now, no matter what, either if you claim something or somebody else attaches it to you, you're stuck with it. It's better off not to know,
I'm a mutt. That's all I know.
It's better off. I'm a human. I'm a human. Mainly probably all different kinds. Don't care. Don't want to know. You
Oh my! What is that noise, everybody? Oh God! Wait, I think it's. Oh my God! I think it's the Grinch. What the Grinch is here? Oh my God!
Oh my God!
The Grinch has showed up for Christmas and he's hosting the show.
Oh my God!
Hey, hold up! I did not know the
Look like Gumby going Joker, bro.
I don't even know what to say to that. What's up, bitches? I'm green down to the bush.
Holy shit! I did not know the Grinch was a
That's awesome. Can we smoke you now?
Yeah, you could. Well, I don't know about that. We've had enough sort of uncomfortable innuendo for this episode, so we'll just pass.
Ginger's the Hulk now. Look, see, they don't even want to get me.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
What's up, Hojo?
Hojo, what's up, buddy? I think we got you coming on.
What's up?
Maybe even next week, actually. Pull that up in my schedule. But anyways, so Jeremy,
what's up?
We got a lot to talk about, buddy. Your book is out. The beast is, the beast is loose. It's out. How's the campaign been treating you? What are your thoughts and feelings?
I'm good. I just can't wait to get everything in everyone's hands. I'm actively, even right now, working on more the pages to get them completed and get this thing to a printer and get it to you guys as soon as possible. So the reception was great. The big tidal wave that first week. I've been throwing some extra stuff out there to get everyone a little bit more interested, and maybe a couple extras. But tomorrow's my last little thing I'm going to be dropping in like the perk areas. I spent a week going through astrology and made a whole star map for my planet. So you can actually locate you can navigate using it. But everyone's star maps and established titles has been in the news and stuff. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Can I? Yeah, why don't we do that? So, yeah, I've got more than enough stars, 489, just with the primary constellation. So, hey.
So are your constellations broken up into astrology signs? I got to know.
Yeah. So what? What?
Are your constellations also astronomy signs?
If for the world you want to kind of look at it that way, yeah, I guess. Does the culture break it down into an astrology like we have here with like, what's your sign, dude?
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, probably. Haven't gotten that far yet. Like not that deep into it. I've only
going to have appendixes of this, just like Lord of the Rings, right?
Did you learn anything though? Just sort of.
Yeah, like now I can use I know how we came up with time, the concept of time. I know how he came up with the stars and stuff like that. It all started with your fingers. And then they found out that prime numbers was the best way to break things down. So even if Thevenot, my planet, rotated in a 36-hour interval instead of 24-hour, they still would have broken it down using prime numbers and segments. Right. So it still would have probably, more than likely, the way the physics work of the entire universe breaks down to 24 hours or a 24 segment breakup. Time would be not the same length of hour, if that makes sense.
All right. Not really, but I will say very interesting. And I've always been a space, geek from afar, even though the math is where I get sort of caught up in all that. But, everybody grew up watching like History Channel or like that was always my favorite thing. Just in class, instead of doing my work, I would just like, you're in science class, I would just flip to the space section.
Yeah.
I found it interesting.
Yeah. No, the gnarly thing are the big voids, the giant voids that are out there. Like, for some reason, we get these, like, I think there's 6 or 7 of them, but they're these large voids where no universes, well, there's not enough galaxies in those little pockets that there should be. So there's theories on what creates those voids. That could be bubble membrane universe theory, M theory, pushing matter away when the fabrics meet. It's weird. Weird stuff.
Speaking of weird stuff here.
A step farther.
Yeah. Go ahead, Pops, please.
I say Chris took it a step farther. Is there a fat resident of Tulabanya that speaks with a fake Jamaican accent to tell you your fortune using your astrology sign?
Cleo.
Only now for free reading.
Oh, I remember those. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was crazy. There still are people. There are still those people, though. Call me now. Call me. I'll give you a free reading. I want a reading from a different planet.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? I want
that. But no, man, campaign's been going great. Everybody's been, pumping it up, pushing it out there. I'm excited about it too. I'm just trying to get a lot of the work done and kind of keep my head above water on the whole thing. But I'm good. Like, I'm happy with my first book being to this point. So yeah, just can't wait to get it all together and get all the knives made and all the crystals poured.
Yes. We definitely want to talk about that.
The first time I talked about this, it was like, man, you had so many plans and ideas, and I was like, man, it's going to be a little while before this one gets done. I wasn't discouraged because the art and shit was amazing, right? And I was like, man, we might have to wait a little while for this one. I'm glad you waited all that time before launching. You didn't launch and make everybody wait. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. I think that was very smart, honestly.
You kept people talking about it. It reminded people it was happening. That's what you do.
It built my channel as much as it could. Not necessarily my YouTube, but my Twitter would blow up, and I would get on shows. People were used to hearing me and hearing me talk about it. So, yeah, it was kind of like a whole year worth of me watching me even work on it to build up the hype for it. So, yeah, it was just a natural case of things on that.
Yeah, and I was excited for it. I'm glad to see that you got it out here ready to go. How much time's left on this thing? Let's look at it. 20
days, maybe.
Oh,
22 days. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, I could push it a little bit more. Like I said, this stuff that I've been working with stars, that's it. Like, I'm done. I'm going to drop it tomorrow on the campaign on my show and then finish it all out. So, start doing
Chris Fisk with another great point here. Got to get those crystals into the timelines of hippie chicks on Twitter. What do you think, buddy?
Right. Bing. Yeah, I've got little crystal lamps and stuff. So you can get those crystals, but we also offer like a lamp for you, made of real driftwood. I like them. They're battery powered. 80s Made bought one, but I showed him how I kind of get the insides, he ended up, he's going to fill his with an auto, like a smart light system. That way when he opens up his room, everything lights up. But yeah, it's just a little battery pack that flicks on and off.
Dude, that is cool.
So yeah, wicked.
What was the inspiration for that? Aside from like being an idea from the book, how did you?
I made one 6 years ago when I started getting the video game and the business, all that arranged up and getting all that built. I needed a Christmas gift for for a friend, and so I went out. I was like, dude, if I can get these crystals and I can drill holes in a piece of driftwood, and the hardest part was finding the piece of driftwood. But when I found it in a gift store. I was like, oh, it's already lacquered and everything. Yes, but it was huge. It was like this big and pretty heavy. So I just took it to the garage and bored holes in it and found my angles and drilled those and then filled it with track lights. And it has a little on-off plug, but it plugs into the wall. But yeah, it's 6 years later and it still works. So no problem. Yeah, so I was like, dude, they're cool. They like it. They're like, that's one of the coolest things we got in the house, dude. It's like, all right, cool. So
yeah, that's a conversation piece, something like that. You just put it out there. It's like, ooh, what is that?
Yep. Yeah. It's got a felt bottom, so it won't scratch nothing.
Okay, so smooth behind. Very nice. All right, Pops, do you want to kick us off on that trailer there, buddy?
All right, hold on a second.
Would, sir?
Mute thyself, and then I.
Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah, it's gonna get crazy,
dude. So how long have you been an artist, bro? I mean, I know we sort of touched on this briefly, but as far as like this level of detail, man, you're definitely, in my opinion, you're up there with anybody else that's got books that people are waiting for a long time. You were even smart to circumvent that, but your artwork is fucking incredible, dude. That shit was
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was given crayons and paintbrushes, probably around the same time I could walk, and I never stopped. But I sold my first piece of artwork in a school art show when I was like 14. So, and that was like a couple $100. I was like, what? I can do this, really? And then after that, all the art shows, kids were putting prices on their artwork. They couldn't believe you can make some money off of it. But
are your parents artists, or?
No, my dad's a carpenter, trim carpenter, and he's built houses and stuff like that. So he does all of the drafting in his head.
Right.
So I did kind of get a little bit of that. My mom was into home decor and craft stuff, so there's a little bit of that there too. But
yeah, carpentry is certainly, especially if you're on the draft side of it, where you're having to use your creative vision to bring something to life, like as beautiful as a house. Like I actually have a lot of love for carpenters.
Oh yeah. They're great. They're great guys. They're awesome people. They know why it feels good to carve into wood and what you mean when you're talking about paintbrush and stroking, on a canvas with paintbrush or whatever. Yeah, they get it.
Absolutely. Okay.
But I had 2 years at Savannah College of Art and Design. Couldn't finish because couldn't afford the tuition anymore. Mm-hmm. But I've worked in 2 companies making video games, and then came out of that last one and built my own company. And now I'm doing this and art jobs, side jobs, stuff like that.
So when you built your own company, was that for Beacon specifically? Or?
Yep. Zade Studios, and then for Beck and the video game, just for the whole IP in general, though. But yeah.
I've been thinking a lot about business here lately, because essentially, as sort of whatever we are, depending if you're the artist that starts the project and is the one managing it, or if you're the writer, essentially we're sort of small not even just small business owners, but like startup guys in a way. But I've been trying to, and sort of one of the things that, aside from story, that we all talk about is like how to make this a long-term venture, successful. Like we all want to be able to do this for the rest of our lives to some degree.
Right.
Maybe everybody's got a different vision or whatever, but we all want to build, basically something that will allow us to stand on our own 2 feet. A company. Could you sort of talk about? And I think like the way we do it as indie guys, like especially in the comic book world, it's like we have to put together a bunch of different business skills on top of a creative and entertainment mindset. There's a lot of moving pieces that go into it. Could you just sort of talk about, in your experience, running a company and all that?
Working with a couple of companies that were independently branding themselves, and one was just straight up. It was 3 dudes, including me, like 2 programmers. So that was nuts. But that had a good support group around it, like a lot of professionals who worked in professional fields like aviation and stuff that were kind of encircling us, kind of thing. Like we were our own independent thing, but they kind of helped us get stuff moving. So I learned a lot off of that, and even had a few of that help coming in, going, hey, so you want to start your own business? Cool. We don't mind helping you if you want to get your trademarks going. Here's the phone numbers. Here's the people you got to talk to. Here's the fees that you're going to have to pay, all that. So they kind of led me along when I said, yeah, I'm ready to start my company. I got an IP to get going. I need to protect it, get the trademarks on it, get everything going. So I paid the taxes every year too. So S corp. So I'm way past that, that 4-year or like grace period. We're past that.
Right.
So
very cool.
Yeah, but this is the we tried to do it with a video game first, and we came to a comic book group with an indie video game post Gamergate, and it's a different culture now. Like all that kind of hit. I was going to GDC in San Francisco for 2015 and 2016, and right when all that was getting kicked on, and they were having talks there about it, like, indie games is dead, all this is dead, it's all happening. And it's just crazy to see, like, post wise, it's a little particular to do indie games now. The games are so small, and you're putting them on Twitch for free or itch.io for free, and they're just so small. And I'm like, we've lost that grand scope and given it all to the money gods. Like, it's very rare you'll get an indie game that hits. That's a true, like, it's a 1-person thing that kicks off really good. I think Stardew Valley was amazing, like just a pattern savant. But there's a lot of examples of that too.
Right. And what it kind of sounds like to me is, and I think I already know this about you because we've talked about it, but do you feel like some of these feelings and thoughts sort of come from your experience with longer role-playing games? And you were a fan of like JRPGs as a kid, right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, the origins of the story is easily, coming off of that, and the IP is easily coming off of those inspirations. But even in myself, like, throwing myself in the lion's den of all this, be like, you have to wear as many hats as you can to manage everything. And if you don't know, guess what? Most of the time people are getting paid to do the job right now. They don't stinking know either. It's just who goes out and finds the answer. Who's going to go out and find the answer and get it?
There's no guarantees, man. I can go out and talk to you in front of 1 million people, and I cannot guarantee that a single one of them is going to spend money on what you do. I can put eyes on it. I can't guarantee anything.
And
I don't charge anything.
Not all of them are doing that, but there's a lot of them. And the difference between the ones that do know what they're doing is they find the answers and they know why the answers work. So if I also go into that with that humble, I don't know nothing about this, so I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. I'm going to get a lot of pushback in this area.
But learning.
I'm going to learn, instead of trusting another, guy who I don't know how far it goes into. So, I mean, I'm very hands-on. I get my older brother as part of the company with me. He knows kind of how protected I am, but I am throwing it to my friends. I'm like, hey, read this. Hey, check this. Hey, does this look good? But these are my trusted guys. And
absolutely.
I've got NDAs, but I've heard NDAs on NDAs. So I'm like, y'all getting crazy when y'all doing NDAs on NDAs. Screw that stuff.
Yeah, that is kind of funny. Like an NDA on an NDA. You can't even talk about the fact that you can't talk about it.
Then why do you want me to work on it? If I can't talk about it, why do you want me to work on it? This is the way I look at it. You got everybody you got working on your project should be allowed to go talk about it, so it gets to more fans. Okay, so all their audiences know what's going on too.
Yeah.
It's why would you tell us? No, man, I want you to work on my stuff. But you can't tell nobody.
It's an easy thing to say that, especially when like certain people maybe they don't have something, so they kind of skirt off of that, like, yeah, well, just wait, it's coming. They don't even have it made yet. All my stuff is planned. I've got it all charted out on note cards, in folders, organized. Yep. The only thing I don't have in certain chunks are those little story bits that happen in between. I know what has to happen. I just don't have those lines written and the action written, the staging. Yeah, I don't have a lot of that done, but I do have big art.
Yeah, I feel like as a writer, that's actually like the job specifically. Like you do all this planning, the world building stuff up front, but I call that stuff that you were describing loosely as like connective tissue in a way.
Yeah,
right. It's just that stuff that you discover along the way as you're letting your characters and the story just sort of sweep you along.
Yeah, and that means that the little twists and turns that I've got planned are also going to have twists and turns to me, the writer, through how my characters have got to get to that point in a very interesting way. So they grow as they write, or as they're written. So
yeah. Before we get into the characters here, which we definitely want to do, Chris Fisk says, sadly, NDAs are necessary in these creative industries. People often steal your and get it out to market before you because they cut corners and take all the credit for beating you to the market. That is why I do personally.
And that makes them grifters, not creators. I'm just saying that makes them grifters.
We made the first version of the prototype, and still the version that's up there is pretty gnarly. But if anyone took the code and tried to go into it, you wouldn't want to build your game off it. You couldn't. Like, you could try, but you can't. That we made it nasty. It works and it doesn't crash, but it's nasty. You don't want to pull that out and then try to make a game off of it. You probably couldn't. So we did that on purpose. Now with all this time that I've been working on the book, Dwight's been retconning, rebuilding it, all the structures out properly. And so
nice.
The next
update
will be nice.
Okay. I was just going to ask, are you guys pleased with how the game is coming along? Your brother's still working on it pretty good? Yeah.
He's just waiting on me to finish this book so I could get the sprites made to finish the update. The update code-wise is mostly finished. He's just got to tweak a couple things here, and then there's things he can't tweak until those sprites are in. So he's just waiting on me for a lot of it.
Yeah, man. Okay, well, let's dive on into the book here. We're here to talk about. I painted myself green for this, so let's talk.
Painted myself green for this. Yeah, share us out, guys.
Okay, so we had you on the show, but just for those who are first tuning in, and you know how this game is played, my friend. Could you give us the story pitch, and then we'll move into the characters, and we'll just sort of progress down your page here, buddy.
Yep. So 2 major factions are struggling for dominion over their planet. One lives in over technological dominion over their planet. One lives in harmony with the life on the planet and everything. The other one chokes it and strangles everything in its way. Dang it. I've had this memorized. I haven't been on a show in quite some time.
That is the truth, by the way, for those that are watching. Like, you remember your pitch, and then after you don't do a pitch for a while, you're like, oh, shit. Yeah. One
normal day is going to turn deadly for a father who is going to witness the peace of his people be betrayed and destroyed. So basically, it's going to be a guy that's caught in the middle of this world struggle between technological powers.
All right.
I recognize that art right there.
Ooh,
Jonathan Jetty.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Shant. I know that. That's good stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with. Is he like in the CG circle? Or
Yeah, that's Shant Enjeti. He has a channel.
Nosfero is the book he was putting out. Yeah, his YouTube channel is
Nosfero. I think I've heard.
Is really cool.
Very nice. I mean, he's a beautiful artist, dude. It's got like almost like Del Toro kind of painterly vibes to it.
Yeah, I recognize that art right away. Oh, that's Shant. I know that.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay.
Look at this, Jeremy, dude.
So what was the original inspiration for the story and everything, but your visual cues? Like, why did you pick, this sort of setting and style and everything?
Dark Crystal, Never-Ending Story, Labyrinth, Legend, Final Fantasy, Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Very good. Those are not only video game series that I love to play, but and they're artistically incredible. But then like those mid 80s, late 80s, practical effects fantasy movies was it's too cool. Yes. Does it look fake to kids now? It didn't. It looked awesome to me when I was a kid, and it still looks like that today. So
yeah, I watch a lot of old movies, and I guess it sort of goes without saying, that CGI can be admired, but with all of it, with so much of everything mostly being CGI today, even if it's just kind of laced in with some practical, like when you go back and watch some '80s stuff, like just some great, like Frank Oz puppetry, or just when people like. I learned, I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw this thing on Twitter where it was like they used a kind of like a real prop bug for Starship Troopers and weaved that in. And dude, that prop looks fucking incredible.
Yeah,
so, yeah. I'm all about the practical for sure.
Heck yeah! And when they did the Dark Crystal like remake or extension or prequel or whatever they did for Netflix, that looked awesome. Practical effect with some CG, polish on it. It looked great. I thought it was cool.
Very nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I bumped my pitch up, but that after I get kind of the explanation of like these two factions are fighting over this dominion. This main character is testing to become a high scholar in a potent crystal magic. We call those the Loden crystals. Okay. But yeah, his exam today is gonna get interrupted, and it's gonna be bad. Yeah,
very cool. Pops, do you want to scroll down to the character list?
Okay.
Good stuff.
Oh,
Man under the hat.
Just like slowly going through this because it's all so amazing, dude.
It is.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll come back to it. Oh. Yeah. All right, buddy, take her away if you'd like.
So Tepestro is our main character. He is a young Jiri father. Jiri is these simian type beings that you guys are seeing over here. This is not a furry book. I always need to subtitle it that way. But yeah, this is he is a what are called tuners, and they use these crystals to basically vibrate or get their mental vibrations in harmony with the vibrations that are coming off the stones, and that allows them to do certain things like light candles or fill up a water cup or something like of course a little weird, a little esoteric, but you get to do the crazy elemental spells with it. But it gets a little deeper when it's around what he's doing. He's testing to become what's called a Watcher of the Nightmare Eater. And a little bit further down, we could get into that. But he lives with his wife, Eulafi, and they have a son, Sardige. And she is basically the event planner for a lot of the holiday events that happen in the city of Tulabanya. And she's a real stern woman. And that shows up in the next book. Hint, hint. Sarfagan is his mentor, also kind of his boss. But also his adopted father, in a sense. Tepestro's dad was Sarfagan's best friend who had passed away, so he took on raising his son. But yeah, he was there 100 years ago and helped another Jiri named Morthus just underneath him lead the Jiri people out of slavery of the land of Thal and build a new home in the giant tree that they now call Tulabanya. So the whole thing with Mortis is he was the Jiri that rose up and led them out, like Moses them out of there, and led them to the tree. And now he leads the Watchers in tuning to the Nightmare Eater down at the bottom. The Nightmare Eater is a human, part-loading kid that's being consumed by this denethite substance in the roots of this giant tree. And for some reason, that keeps the denethite from growing through the rest of the tree. So the idea is they're tuning to this thing to try to figure out what's making it work and keep the denethite from growing, because they can figure out that secret. They could defeat Thal and cure the tree of denethite, la-di-la-di-la, right? That's what their job is right now. So that's what the book is kind of getting into. Yeah. So that's kind of the hierarchy. You got you got it.
Yeah. So they're basically on watch to ensure that this tree stays protected.
Yeah. Yeah. So the tuning when they're in this denethite chamber or the Nightmare Eater's chamber, the denethite has a different reaction with the Lodans than just to light a candle or do the elemental things. It causes their brain consciousness to be connected with this different wavelength of reality, or what I've been telling people, an extra lattice in an E8 lattice theory motif. But that they're having visions in this chamber and they're not really connected. Each one's vision's different. So they're kind of, the Watchers tune as much as they can to kind of just derive as much knowledge that they can. But they're really not quite too sure what's going on.
All right. I love you know what? I'm so glad that this is a comic book, just because there's so much visual sort of play within this, that if it were a novel, like, I don't think your imagination really could do this justice. Like, seeing it through your eyes is actually probably way more exciting.
Probably the only way you're going to see it.
Well, I got a question. So was it you and your brother that wrote and created this together, or did you guys pass the sort of the jobs off separately, or how did it come
my brother came in a lot later as a programmer, so he's kind of sitting there like everyone else going, what the heck are you talking about? What's this? But he knows a lot more about it than everybody, of course, because I've told him the whole story. But yeah, there's a lot of it where he's going, huh? What are you doing? No, this is mostly entirely me. My buddy from back when I was a kid that we used to do the tabletop role play games with, we were doing it without the modules. So we were just doing it freestyle. So this was my world. I was kind of creating on the side. He was crafting his worlds on the side. Here, in 2016, I had a lot of time to talk with him about all this and try to start to crystallize the idea for the game, and actually get these things kind of nailed down and written as far as like what's the rules here. And he ended up having to leave the project pretty early on, but I was able to kind of get some base notes, work through some things. Even now I'm still changing things that he's going, oh, what are you doing with it? Oh, okay, hold on, I need to sleep on that. That sounds cool though. And then he'll be like, dude, that's the only way to do it. And I'm like, right, yeah. So I've had a little bit of help here and there on the writing part, but as far as the straight writing part of this book, no, that's all me, dude.
Yeah,
it's all me.
Right on, bro.
Big world, lots of stuff. Yeah.
And sometimes that little bit of like sometimes just saying something out loud to somebody else. Like sometimes I'll just I'm working on an idea and I'll say it to my girlfriend out loud, and regardless if she's maybe even had time to respond, I'm like, oh yes, that's it. Yeah. It's like just hearing it out loud can be very helpful. So
yeah, that's what me and him did a lot of the time, was kind of pitch an idea like, okay, well, what if this happens? Well, if this happens, does it conflict with this, and this? Like, it's really nice to have someone that actually knows your lore to bounce that stuff off of, and then you'd be like, hey, does this break lore? Yeah, it breaks lore. Be like, yeah, but I want to break that part of the lore now. Okay. So like the changes aren't, he's not married to any changes I've got to make because it's not his thing per se.
Sort of the almost I'm sure in the quote unquote mainstream comic book world, this is like a series or section editor type position where they just know what you got going on and that type of thing without stepping on your toes. Okay. Very cool. So how big is the team, would you say? Is it solely just you on this book? Or, I mean, yeah. Rock and roll, dude.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep. Right. Wrote it, drew it, colored it.
So do you write a script for yourself before you do a page? Or
I did a little brief one. I needed to get the ideas of what the story beats were. So I had some note cards. I knew what beats I needed to hit. And then I started writing other note cards to fill in those note cards of those details. Here's what I want to do here. Here's what I want to do here. Mm-hmm. Then I started drafting out the story. I called them thumbnailing, but I had people in the stream going, that's not thumbnails. Those are layouts.
Bro. No, I was sort of I
got the whole book like this.
So
the whole book has been done in like the first month. The first month it was like this, ready to go. So all the way through, and I sent that around, and then a couple guys had suggested I add maybe a couple more pages here and there to flesh out some certain stuff that was going on. But like I said, the whole book is done in this form and has been. So I've just been redrawing it.
Okay. Yes.
But
wonderful.
in editing it, adding things before I did the redraw, and then testing that read first. But I had pages to start. I had the first 2-page spread that everyone went nuts for, and then I did the cover. So that was like a good 4 months of passing just this prototype around and seeing what the reaction was before I started getting any serious, into serious depth in the book. Where alterations were not going to be possible,
Yeah, that was my big question. Was I guess you kind of really covered it there, though. But I could imagine you. How many pages did you just outright redraw? Then let's make that the question.
None so far. None that are redrawn. If you're asking me from the layouts that are redrawn, all of the whole book is getting redrawn, of course. If you understand, no, the compositions are the same.
Right. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. The compositions are the same. Like not many. I think I've only changed one shot, really, maybe 2 shots so far.
Okay. Very good. So very, very productive and very just a smooth transition over from what's basically kind of like an ash can.
Yeah. People said I might want to put that one out too sometime too. So
on the website, do like a bundle deal, like the only chance to get the original ash can,
Yeah.
Okay, so Pops, do you want to scroll down and show us, pull out the pups and show us what Jeremy's rocking with here? I mean, there we go. There. Speak of the devil.
Grayscales.
Yeah. So. Not to push anyone into any crazy, this isn't just the line art. This is the full colored version with all the color pulled out. And then I got to go in there and darken up some areas and lighten up some areas in certain spots because just dragging that color out doesn't make it look perfect. It just takes all the color out. But you got the grayscale version. So it takes me a little bit more work actually make that grayscale version because I have to finish coloring it first.
And then you have a Catapano cover.
Yeah, an action cover. Joe Catapano cover. Bow.
Yeah.
Joe Cat. Look at it.
Nice. Friend of the show. Also an incredible artist.
Yes, we went to high school together. We worked together. We've been at this the Step Brothers.
Yeah, man. You guys are but that cover and what you guys are doing, what you're doing in Back End Bro is better than most things in the mainstream. And I'm not just trying to butter your buns, as they say. I mean, that's his legit line work on that cover Joe did right there.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. So tell us about this knife. Am I understanding you've got a knife?
It is a shard until we're off of Indiegogo.
Very well. Tell me about your shard, buddy.
Well, it's a little bit lower underneath a little bit lower. Yeah, there you go. That guy.
Very cool.
This thing is acrylic casted shard with a leather wrapped handle or braid, and then the armature wire handle, hilt, and belt frog where you can wear it and it doubles as a stand. That's sinew waxed with beeswax. And it's got another extra crystal in the pommel here, and that's supposed to be our magic crystal that has the hover spell, so it makes the shard lighter. Because when you pick this thing up, you're like, dude, that's really light. It doesn't look like it's going to be that light. But yeah, it's really, really cool and well balanced. Like I said, it was really fun to make, and I got 3 of those to make, and they're sold out. You will see them in the future.
Dude.
We'll see more.
I hope we do, and that is absolutely beautiful craftsmanship. How long does that take you to make one of those?
About a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the cure time on the shard part, and then each piece of that I have to weave by hand, and I get blisters on my hands when I tie in that, but it all fits together, and then I got to retighten it up and then touch it up. Like, yeah, it's a passion of love, dude.
So how do you source the material? Where are you going out foraging and just like Midtown Orlando or something, like looking for shit? I don't know.
You can find stuff on the internet, resources like the sinew is it's hard to find the right type of sinew I get, but you can find sinew at like your craft stores and stuff, your leathers and
going down to Michael's. I like it.
Yeah. The polymer acrylic stuff you can order offline. It's a deep pour resin, but yeah. That was hard. That was actually hard, is figuring out the mold to make it and get it all set up right where it kept working, and figured that out.
yeah, you've had to pick up a ton of skills to put this project together.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep. So, Pops, do you want to take us to the perks here? We got Chris Fisk.
Oh yeah. Hey, I want to talk about Chris Fisk after the campaign funded. Chris Fisk hit me up. He was like, dude, I'm going to print you out your trophy.
Oh, my God. Woo,
that's the size of my hand. That's a 9.1 inch statue, dude, of my main character of the video game. And here's the coolest part. I love this.
Nice.
Dude.
It's got an embossed logo right on the bottom. It is so awesome. If you need some 3D printing and he's available, go get him. That's resin right there, baby. Wow, it looks awesome. I can't wait to paint it.
Oh man,
got some 6 a.m. awesome stickers. You know it.
Yeah, and I got this this little stretch goal fractal, because fractal's kind of the joke around me in some groups, because I always talk about them. But that was basically a little graph to kind of keep up with the planned stretch goals. But I'm probably just going to pull that down, drop stretch goals as they pop out. It's whatever. Let's have fun, guys. That kind of felt weird when I threw it up, and it was like, it's not moving very much. It moves like a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. I'm like, nah, I just don't like seeing it anymore.
Yeah.
I'll just...
I love
all
this stuff.
Yeah, the load and chime, or the chime cube. Sorry.
Very nice.
Load and chimes are different. Chime cubes are these hyper cube shapes that's kind of the extremes. Is a very primitive culture made a very advanced math shape. It is a 4-dimensional cube representation, but they're toys for their young tuners, for their child tuners, to be able to take their crystals, load them in, get it, and then the shape of it amplifies the signal of the crystal, so the little kids can make it float, make it do things, make it glow. But that's the chime cubes. And I only made one of those because I didn't think you guys would know what the hell they are this time. It would be like, what the heck is he doing? But it's a Pavlov's gun type of object. It appears in this book, is going to reappear in the next one. So it's going to be a pretty big catalog. So I'll have more of them next time.
All right. Very good. Setting us up for next time. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Pops. I was going to say, Pops, if you want to take us up to the top there.
That's the first of the. Yeah, that's the first. The crystals themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
But I like the lamp.
Yeah. So the way I've got the crystals buyable is you get them in the add-ons. You can get the whole collection, or you can get just one. that comes in. It's also in the add-ons as well. But some people were suggesting, dude, why don't you make a holder for them that lights up? And I was like, dang, I did that 6 years ago. Let me see if I can make a mini version of that, And then, boom, there it went. And so a couple people grabbed them. I have fun making this stuff. I have fun doing stuff. So I'm stoked about them.
Absolutely, bro. Very nice.
Yeah.
Or what is this?
This is what I'm going to be dropping tomorrow. This is one of the 8.5 by 11 pages that you'll get in the packet of your certification. So this is the actual star map that has the 2 hemispheres. Oh, sorry. Give me a second. It's acting a little slow. Come on. It's got both hemispheres and all the constellations broken up between each of them. There's 489 stars just in the main constellations. And later on, once these fill up, we'll go deeper into space with in-between constellations and stuff like that. But yeah, there's enough stars to keep us busy here. But this is one piece you'll get. And the certificate, where is that? Dang, there it is. There it is. So you'll get your own little certificate. You can get it framed or unframed. But yeah, we'll have a little seal of approval stamp right there. It'll be on parchment paper, and yeah, you'll have your actual coordinates down there in your how to find your constellation to that map.
Oh, man, that is actually very cool, bro. Very cool. You're stepping up in the world when you're authenticating certificates. This is legit, guys.
Yeah,
awesome.
Nah, it's for an imaginary sky. I'm not selling you anything.
No. Yeah, I don't mean anything.
That's exactly
here. I'm just being a fool. Okay.
But yeah, I wanted to show that because I'm going to be dropping this perk tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but Thursday night on my show at Becca Develop Weekly Stream. It's over there on YouTube's Zade Studios.
All right. Very nice.
Yeah.
So we're coming down to the wire here. We keep her a tight hour these days because we're on the Madness Network. And there's the horror, what is it, CG horror show?
Well, we hope. I'm waiting to hear from Brian.
Alrighty.
I hope we're having a CG horror show. It's on the schedule. There's a bunch of people going, "Where's the link?" And I'm like, "Where's Brian?" There will be one. That's all I can say. We'll be out there.
Okay. Very good.
Nice.
So we do want to, just before Pops, can you we'll hit a couple perks real quick, like the actual that sidebar.
I can tell you that featured perk is the best deal you're going to get on books. It is for the same book. 2 versions are grayscale, 2 versions are colored, but they have the different covers. If you're just trying to get a good collection to give out to people too, that's your best deal you can get on them. The other ones, I really want you guys to get the books. That's the most important thing to me. There's books, posters. If you guys want knickknacks, they're there in the add-ons, But yeah, I want the stories to go out there. So, I've got some perks there where you can grab posters and book and crystal, I believe, a little bit further down on that perk. I got a lot of perks. And that was one thing I was trying to stay away from in the beginning, but I got halfway through this thing. I was like, nah, we're just going to go. When I'm tired of selling one, I'll take it down. Because I'm making most of it. Printing is the only thing that, how many prints am I going to have? Most of this I'm making in-house. So
I'll just say this. The show's been strange enough. I'll sort of reserve my making a joke about anything being perky at all. Won't say I did, but anyways. All right, bro. So if you had to maybe pitch us one, I guess it obviously would be that featured perk, but is there any of this sort of the more interesting stuff? Like how many crystals do you have left, or is there, what's your inventory looking like?
There's not a limited inventory on those. Y'all need to buy them up now because I pour them in molds and color them and myself. So I'm just waiting to hear what that number I've got to make.
I'm looking at the main A and the variant A. The main A is that Rack Brown cover right there.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Page. And the variant A is that Shantan Jetty cover. So, you might, if you're like me and you can usually only get one book, you might want to get one of those two. That's just my call.
That's a hard choice, man. Honestly.
I know.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, you can get both of them in a later perk. You can get mine in just the black and white and the colored as well.
There she is.
Right there.
Yeah, right there.
Very good. Jeremy, thinking of the customer, everybody. Thinking of you, backer. You beautiful, beautiful individual. God bless you.
Yeah.
The lamp with no crystals, the lamp with crystals.
Yeah, and then that's a perk with the poster, with the book and the lamp. And like I said, the posters are an add-on, guys. Like I really need to put more perks out there that have that poster behind, like so it gets brought up front. But I gotta get rid of posters, yo.
All the good stuff's gone, guys. Look at that.
Do you have a store that this will, once the campaigns are coming down, do you have plans for any of your leftover stuff? Or are you saving it for a campaign?
Plans. I have loose plans right now. I do have a website, zadestudios.com. I do have a shop that's there. I just don't have it activated right now with anything. And I'm going to wait until these things are fulfilled first and then start getting all that kind of laid out and figured out. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the idea is I do want some of this stuff to be available later on our store at a marked up price. You guys got the best deal that you're going to get here. So
yeah, buddy.
Yeah. But
yeah, man, you really nailed especially with that, just that graphic on the load and display collection, that perk right there. That graphic looks like what you'd see on like Square Enix would put out for like a Final Fantasy statue. So you've totally nailed that aesthetic, buddy. And it really presents that sort of clean, like, ooh, like this is something, worth it. Like this looks great. So
thank you. I appreciate that so much.
This, from the first time I saw your art, I was like Tim Vigil. It just hit me with all the flavor of everything that he does with the line work and the color. And it was like, man, there ain't too many people on that level. What you're doing's on that fucking level, dude. I'm just saying.
Thank you. Right. Well, I'll keep it up. And the next book is going to be done traditionally with the line art. And I'm going to go straight from that to digital colors. I don't think I'm going to be doing inking for it. I'm going to pull the Joe Catapano did for Star Circuit and go right from scan pencils into digital coloring. And if you guys have seen, I do my pencils a lot quicker than it takes me to do these damn digitals. I want to control every pixel here, but I can't do that, with the limitations that pages will give me. So I love working traditional. I played around with that over the past couple of weeks. You guys will see on my channel where I was drawing the pit for the auction last. But yeah, I can't wait to get this book finished and in y'all's hands. That's my main priority right now, is getting that all done so I can get started on the traditional pages of the next one. Like I said, I already know the story.
Cool.
So
yeah, love that, dude. Thank you so much for coming on, Jeremy.
Thank you.
It was a total pleasure,
for having me. Yeah, and I hope you guys have a good Christmas. Are you going to dress up like that for Christmas too?
I think you used the wrong paint. Don't worry about it.
It's war paint. It ain't washing off.
We'll see how it comes off later. But yeah, no. Well, it was just dude. I've been thinking about this for about 2 months, and I waited until about 3 hours before the show to finally pull the trigger. I woke up this morning and didn't get out of bed. But just like, am I going to paint myself green today?
Dude, do you have a cucumber?
No.
Just lift up the cucumber.
That's not a cucumber. I'm just happy to see everybody. Thank you so much for the show today. Jeremy, thanks for coming, buddy. Do you want to give us where we can find you out there in the world?
Yeah, on Twitter, I'm at Studio Zade. I don't know why they do it backwards, but they do. On internet, we're at zadestudios.com. On YouTube, we're at Zade Studios on YouTube. We got an Instagram too. There's Facebook, for all of us codgers out there. But yeah, go for it, man. That's if y'all ever want to catch me, I'm doing Art Bros with Joe on Fridays. I'm doing my show on Thursdays. I'm running around doing shows to whoever will have me. I'll be there.
We got 25 shows on the network now, Jeremy. You can talk to any of them. They'll all talk to you.
Yeah, I know. I've got my whole dry erase board schedule still there. I've got most of it X'd out now because we're halfway done. So I got some open slots, but it's been fun catching the small streams too. Just people like, hey, come on, and be like, all right, cool, I got time here. But it's been awesome.
Absolutely. I just want to thank everybody for watching. If you're not watching on the Ginge Gingerton YouTube channel, go over there and subscribe.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? If you watch this later on the Madness Network, go over to the Ginge Gingerton YouTube, check it out, subscribe over there. The whole purpose of doing this is to help everybody's channels grow. So, Ginge, thanks for having me as your co-host. Pedro, get back to work.
Thanks,
miss you, Pedro.
Yeah. All right, gang. We will catch y'all next week on the Ginge Pedro Show. Peace.